Oh, here we go, loop-de-loop, in the beginning of another week, and what really seems to be like the longest month of the year. Anybody else feel like that? That this is such a long month, January?
Has a lot of days in it.
Uh, yeah, 31 of
31.
them.
A lot of
A
holidays
month
too.
not known for much of anything other than it contains the first day of the year, a day for most of us being a day of recovery,
Wait a minute, what'd you just say?
a day that some of us hope will bring the beginning of a year better than the one we just left.
You just said it's a month not known for much of anything?
Yeah, except that it's long and cold and miserable.
I can't believe you just said
By
that.
admitting that we hope that this year will be better than last year, we
Amen.
are now admitting that we are optimists and not pessimists.
I agree.
Good morning. Another optimistic greeting, by the way. Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown, welcoming one and all to live and local real talk.
And good morning. And my glass is already always half full. And I'm Lee Barrows.
Mine is empty. Only thing in it's ice.
I have.
I got to go get some
Where's my
more.
water? Oh, it's over there.
So
Good.
you don't know about your glass then, do you?
No, I mean I have this. but
Marty
I
was
also
just
have
in here.
ice
He was
water.
drinking out of it. So you don't know how much is left.
It's Monday.
It's a Monday. Thank you all for joining us this morning. And hopefully, Trish, I was hoping for one of those Q words for the weekend, but that did not happen.
Did not
I should have
happen.
known better to even think about it. Things. What's going on with people with vehicles?
Gone crazy.
They are. They're going absolutely bonkers.
I mean, last night it was a U-Haul.
Yeah. What's that? What was that? I thought they used to use U-Hauls to haul dope and move furniture.
Now it's to mow people down.
Sure. Well, whatever. I looked at more news over the weekend.
Yes.
God, I think I'm going to block all the news channels on my TV up there. Not sure that I care to do it again. It makes me think that most of the people in this world are just plain nuts.
I'm telling you. I saw a lot of nuts this
Oh,
weekend.
God, yes.
Good Lord.
Get the pot out and let's boil them. In Jacksonville, in the early morning hours of Sunday, police responded to a call of an assault there on Bryn Mawr Road late Saturday night, Sunday morning. Arriving, the officers found one man suffering from gunshot wounds, plural, according to the first news release on Saturday. They also got a report that another man had gone to the hospital with a chance. The preliminary knew each other and got into some sort of fight. One armed with a knife, the other with a gun, and voila. The investigation is ongoing. The public is not in danger, according to police. At least they're not in danger as a result of this mess. And we'll have more on that later. If you have information that could help the investigators, you can reach out to Detective Bloomfield. He's at 910-938-6410. 938-6410, or you can send him an email at sbloomfield@jacksonvillenc.gov. That's S as in Sam, Bloomfield, BLOOMFIELD @jacksonvillenc.gov, or Crime Stoppers at 910-938-3273. I'll give you that number again in a minute. Crime Stoppers offers up to $5,000 for information determined to be of value to law enforcement. Callers to Crime Stoppers are not required to reveal their identities. You can call them up. They'll give you a code number. And just in case the information you give them is used to solve the crime or put somebody in the jailhouse now, your name will be not your name, your number and information about your call will be brought up at a board meeting with the Crime Stoppers folks, and they will decide if the information you gave should be rewarded. That's the way it works. Again, that number for Crime Stoppers, that goes for this crime or anything else that happens out there. If you know of a big drug operation in your neighborhood, hello, don't get obvious and don't get stupid and don't do anything dangerous. But, if you want to write down a few tag numbers and keep a little bit of a log about what's going on at a location of one of your neighbors.
Yeah, don't stand on the street taking their tag numbers or taking
don't
pictures.
Walk up to the house and get some pictures of the car or anything. Nothing like that. Don't.
Right.
But, if you keep a log of all that kind of stuff, and you, put that log in a computer so you can be read and whatever, you can also call Crime Stoppers and tell them you can send them an email or a text, or you can text a tip. Text a tip is usually pretty short.
Text a tip.
But the information you give, you can do that. Just as a suggestion, you want some money? There you go. They'll never know who you are. A few hours after the Jacksonville case there on Bryn Mawr Road, a 43-year-old man was stabbed to death in Greenville. What's this with stabbing?
It's a lot
Happened
of stabbing lately.
about 6 o'clock in the morning, 4 hours after the mess here in Jacksonville. Travis Moore was taken to the hospital where he died. 44-year-old Latosha Bunch was arrested by Greenville police. They say she was the victim's girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Ms. Bunch is confined in the Pitt County Corrections Unit on an open count of murder. She will likely have a first appearance later this morning. No motive was given for the attack. Moore, the victim, is 43 years old, has a lengthy record for various narcotics and firearms convictions dating back to the late 1990s.
Wow. Yeah, and notice there's been a lot of stabbings lately everywhere.
Yeah, people getting run over by cars.
People getting hit by cars.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of new stuff on the mess in Minneapolis. Hey, there's the title for the Fox News to come up with. Mess in Minneapolis. That covers a whole
It is a mess.
wide range of mess, doesn't it?
I kept on watching it most of the weekend, and Rayford,
People
this
are
is
just not
the
acting like adults, are they?
The future of our nation, and they're all young people. I would say from the ages of 18 up to about 35. And they're out there dressed in cartoon costumes, They're out there yelling and screaming, and
Well, they think they're
Chris.
funny.
And what gets me is there's only one word they all know, and that is the F word. And they stand there and they scream it the whole time. They get up in the face of the police officers. I mean, in their space, in their personal space, and they scream, F you, F you. You're nothing but an effing pig. I'm like, why are we doing? Why?
An older man than an older gentleman, very nice gentleman than I was, much older than I was, many years ago, was evaluating why people use so many vulgar words. It's just because their vocabulary is very limited. They do not know how to use other words. They are strictly limited in what they can write or what they can say.
Well, I saw mothers with small children out there.
Yeah, they're teaching them well.
They're teaching them already.
Teaching them well.
After Chris's, go ahead and take Chris's call. But
hey, Chris, how are you?
Good morning, team. How's everybody?
Oh, we're hanging in here. How's the patient? Squirrel.
Well, we're getting ready to head on down to Wilmington and let the surgeon do his stuff and get her speaking of knives. Yeah,
I'll be thinking of her.
Let him do his thing and hopefully begin therapy at the end of the week or so.
Yeah, and that therapy will involve not feeding squirrels for a while.
No, she is done feeding squirrels.
Okay.
Except fattening one up for you.
It takes several. Those little critters are small.
You going to put some tread strips on those steps?
I actually went because I knew we had some cold weather coming, and the ice melt or something. But she won't need to worry about it because she won't be leaving her recliner or other comfortable areas for quite a few days.
Those shackles that I gave you are going to work fine, aren't they?
I think so. Yeah, all those things you used in your previous career in law enforcement come in quite handy. The handcuffs not so well, but Kathy did. I don't know if it's the medication she's taking before surgery. So the reason they use knives, these stabbings and stuff, is it's up close and personal, and it's more quiet. I guess that's her thoughts.
People scream a lot more though.
It's messy.
Yeah,
it is messy.
It is messy. One thing I wanted to mention this morning, and I know we'll get to it, is this stuff in Minnesota.
No.
I just want people to understand a couple of things. It was a choice. We all make choices in life. Every day we make choices. We do when we do our show. We make choices.
Yep.
And people that call in, they've got their opinions and they make theirs known. But we all make choices every day, good or bad. We make them.
We do.
My own personal opinion: this lady made a bad choice by getting up in the morning. I watched a video last night from DHS of
The 2 minutes
the 3
before.
minutes
Yeah.
prior,
Mhm.
3 minutes prior, and she's beeping her horn. She's blocking traffic. She went there with the intent to disrupt and protest. But protests, I guess, are fine in a civil manner. And you're putting other people in danger. And that's what I thought about, was the people whose cars she was blocking, because that was ICE, not ICE agents, ICE on the road, similar to what Kathy slipped on. That these people are having to drive around because she's blocking the road.
Yep.
So she's put other people in danger. But she chose to leave her 3 children to go do what she did. And I'm sorry she's died. I really am. I pray for her soul.
Yes.
But these people who think that the ICE agents were responsible for this, and that these are untrained agents, they need to go look and Google what the training requirements or what the requirement is to be an ICE agent. These gentlemen are not just former mall cops, as some people have been saying. These are highly trained, very well educated men and women. Simple as that.
To be able to cross the threshold to get a job as a federal agent, that it's a pretty stringent deal. Okay, and not everybody who applies is accepted. Even after they're accepted, a number of them, it's kind of like the SEAL teams. The people who apply to be a SEAL team member. A number of people are accepted. Not a whole lot of them get through.
No.
Even once they are accepted, and just to be accepted, you got to be something pretty good, and then you're going to be weeded out. And most often, you're not weeded out; you weed yourself out because you can't take it anymore. It's just too strenuous. And the federal agents, they go through a whole lot of the same kind of stuff.
And people need to understand this, whether they're ICE, FBI, local law enforcement, which we have the best. I'm going to make a comment real quickly on that, and then I'll let callers call in. But they are law enforcement. They've taken an oath to serve and protect. That's their job, serve and protect. And for Ilhan Omar to get on TV like yesterday and think that she's a mind reader and goes, well, what happened is this lady was thinking, oh, I'm being very nice to this officer. I'm thinking everything's okay. I'm thinking, really? This lady, Omar, can read minds now of a dead person?
She was mocking the guy when she said that.
Of course she was. Just like her husband was.
That's kind of like, bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
That's exactly what she did. Do you not? Did nobody else see that?
Mm-hmm.
No,
that's what she was thinking. That's what she meant.
She went there for a purpose. 3 minutes before it even happened, she was causing problems, tooting her horns to some kind of beat or something. I listened to it and I was like, oh yeah, you're getting a lot of attention. And this was shot by somebody in a house.
Yeah. Right. Yeah,
so
I saw that video. Right.
Yeah, Lee. Okay, so it's a public neighborhood.
Right.
So she's bothering people in their homes, or sitting there tooting her horn for 3 minutes.
No care for the disruption you're causing the innocent people who choose to stay in their home, watch television, cook a nice supper, go to bed on time, no care whatsoever how you're impeding on their life. You go out to protest, stay on the sidewalk, say what you got to say, and do it peacefully.
Quietly, because let me tell
Right.
you something else. Not everybody works a shift that
That's
starts at 8 or 9
right.
o'clock in the morning and you get through in the afternoon at a decent hour. A whole lot of
Exactly.
people go to work at midnight and they work until 8 o'clock the next morning. Well, guess what they do when they get home? They sleep. And they don't need idiots like these folks out there interrupting their sleep. There should be a law. You interrupt my sleep, you go to jail.
Well, these people trying to come in and out of their house too. Say I wanted to go to the grocery store. I
Yeah.
can't even get out onto the road because I've got crazy people out there screaming obscenities, throwing stuff.
Interfering with my right to go grocery shopping. That's 5 to 10 right there.
Yeah.
Fortunately, well, Saturday morning we woke up at 5 o'clock. There was 6 fire department trucks with the red lights on outside our house. Not for us, but across the street, and it turned out to be nothing, which was great.
Right.
That was
you're
great,
trying to tell me that a bunch of firefighters had to get called out at 5 o'clock in the morning? How shameful! Shouldn't they be allowed to sleep all? Yes, they should be. But things happen,
But
folks.
they are there for us.
Yeah,
when we need them.
They do. And I've got something for local media, who are usually, and they're our friends, so I hope they take this if they're listening, for the kindness that it's meant, but also to make sure they understand there's two sides to everything. Over the weekend, all the anti demonstrations were going on. They had them in Greenville.
Yep.
2 weeks ago, we had them here in Jacksonville.
They were
But the
peaceful.
local Republican Party Saturday did a peaceful protest.
Back the blue.
The corner of Western and Country Club.
I saw all the major network news coverage on it, right?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, right. Couldn't even get the local stations who were out there. They were covering some gentleman in his 80s wearing a banana suit, saying that Donald Trump has mental problems.
See,
you're wearing a banana suit in public, and you say Donald Trump has mental problems.
Yeah.
You should have seen
calling the kettle black, right?
You should have seen what some of these folks were wearing out there at the LA protest yesterday in the streets.
Well, that's their normal attire.
And I'm just like, what point are you making by dressing up as a strawberry or whatever? Some of the ensembles. What's your point? What are you accomplishing? Please tell me.
Halloween in January.
Maybe for the television reporter to interview, but I think it's time for the people in Minnesota. That was not going to happen. Chill down. There's going to be a fair investigation, whether you think it's fair or not. And at the end of the day, a human life was lost, but that was a choice that she made to be in a place.
It's very sad.
And to do something she shouldn't have tried to do.
If I am told by a team of people with their guns to get out of my car, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put my foot on a floorboard and take off and try to run one of them over. That ought to tell them something.
Well,
what kind of mind does that? What kind of mind works like that?
If I'm not mistaken, either Rafe or Lee, you both could correct me on this one. Did she live in Minnesota, or was she came from another state?
I think she came from. I think it was Missouri. I forgot where she was living, but she and her husband split. Yeah,
the male version of her husband split. Then she ended up in Missouri. Then she and her new wife ended up in Canada for a short time. I don't know how it worked out up there, but she wasn't there long. And then she moved across the border and she settled somewhere in Minnesota. I don't know where. I don't know how long ago. Settled is a relative term.
Yeah, she'd been there for a little while. I mean, it's not like she packed up and moved to Minnesota to join a protest group, but she did. There's so many stories coming out. There's stories that she didn't have custody of, but only one of her children.
I don't pay attention to that.
There was so much personal information.
Don't care
And
if
like
she's
I
dead,
said-
and it was a tragic situation, but it was a self-induced.
Yes. But what I'm saying
caused it.
is there's so much out there. Let it go. Let
Yeah.
it go, people. I mean, you can't believe most of what you read out there anymore.
Either you both have known police officers have been killed.
Yes.
Yep.
Personal
Yeah, I
friends,
can
yes.
Yeah, you've been police officer. You know, police officers have been killed. Yeah.
Yes.
And what did the other cops who were working those shifts do during the investigation or right after the investigation? They went back to work.
Yes, they did.
They continued working their shift.
Right.
How many times did you see them go home and get their other clothes on and go out and march with signs and protesting bad
Never.
people?
Never.
How about a day later? Did you see the citizens of the county or the city or anywhere else go out and protest against the people who killed cops? Have you ever seen them go out and protest against the people who killed
Not in
cops?
our area.
Oh,
I
how
am
about
so
that?
grateful that I live where I live. I love this.
I mean,
county.
I would support them if they went out and peacefully protested when a police officer is killed, but they don't do that.
No, they don't.
They don't do that.
No,
Because, you know,
because somewhere.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Chris. No, you go ahead.
No, you please, ladies
Well,
first.
the right way to memorialize someone is to do it. You don't have to go out in the street and have any kind of a protest, whether it's a good or bad. Just do what you need to do for the family,
Yeah.
for the coworkers. Be a part of the cure. Push more training. Whatever it takes, that's what you do. You don't go stand out in the street and hold up a sign. Why? You're not getting anything done. People see you, whether it's a good protest or a bad protest, they'll drive by, they'll see you out there and they'll say, oh, that's nice, or oh, that's crazy. And that they don't think about it again.
The most I would ever
Yeah,
do would be hold up a sign that would say "Justice for the victims."
Right.
That's it.
There
That's
you go.
right.
Good one. I think you both hit it on the head. And the next thing to do is you pray for them, you pray for their
Mhm.
families, and you pray once again for law enforcement officers. These people who get up, put their uniform on, walk out the door.
I know what we're
Their
going to have for
family.
dinner tonight, or whatever. Male and female will do the same thing.
Be
Yeah.
a neighbor, be a good neighbor. And if you get stopped because you're speeding and a law enforcement officer walks up to your vehicle, you do whatever he says.
Or she.
You have to have faith. And if you treat them respectfully, they're going to be respectful to you.
And the situation is when they walk up there, when you start becoming defensive right off the bat, they're going
Yeah.
like, what's going on here? And they walk up there, they may have to tell you that you got a left tail light out. And
Mhm.
it's a point of information. They, how many times you ever seen somebody written for a tail light this out?
Well, Rayford, let me ask you. Every time you go out to get into your Jeep to go to the store, to go to a meeting, to go anywhere, do you do a walk around your vehicle to make sure every single light's working and turn signals? Do you do that?
Not the lights, no.
I don't do it.
No.
And so, more than likely it's going to be some patrol officer stopping you to say your license plate light is out or your right turn signal is not working. Let's check it.
Now, if he stops you 3 more times, you're going to get a ticket sooner or later.
Then
You
that's
understand
on
that?
you.
Yeah, that's all on you.
Exactly.
That's and if you're respectful and they walk up there, even if you're running 55 and a 45, that's where
Right.
you're going to get stopped.
Right.
Where you get the ticket is whether sometimes your attitude is going to guarantee a ticket. Let's just put it that way.
Exactly.
And in my case, always, if you get pulled for speeding, that I don't like writing, never like to write a stupid ticket.
Yeah.
Took too
Let me
much of my
find
life.
any ordinance at all I can write something
No,
on.
I don't want to. I hated it.
Yeah.
Just no. But I walk up, and back in the days of fuzzbusters, the radar detectors,
Oh, remember
if you had
those?
one, if you were speeding and I pulled you over because you were speeding, and that's the first thing I see is a radar detector, and you were at one of those on the border, whether I would probably just not want to write you and tell you to slow your butt down.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I see that. I'm going to write you. Why? Because you're there and telling me that you're using a device to make sure that you can violate the law. So therefore, the intent was there. You got the ticket. Duh.
Oh, wow.
I'd have loved to have been a cop up in Virginia when you pull them over, because you get to take it and bust it.
Well, I hope that things calm down.
I do.
These people, and even in here locally, the areas around us, Greenville, it seems to be having a lot of problems with all sorts of things.
Yeah, keep it up there.
People use the common sense the good Lord gave you.
Yep.
Well, I just think we're going backwards. You know, it's just,
I look at the vast majority of the people, 2,000, 5,000
Mhm.
people on the streets of Minneapolis. I don't care. This country's got 300 plus million people. All right. They weren't out there.
I'm just
Thousands
saying,
were, not millions and millions and millions.
but you've got the news media, the private bloggers, the YouTubers, the other people who have to go out there and video it live. That's how I watch
Bless
most of
their
mine.
hearts.
And the thing about it is, you know, that's more people watching. The comments, you just turn off the comments. You don't even want to read the comments. But why? Why have we? It's such a political divide, and I blame it on politics. I'm sorry. I do.
Of course, the rhetoric that these clowns
Yep.
are giving us are just, it needs to go away. You know, they talk about Donald Trump having a bunch of nasty things always to say. What about the mayor? What about these people
That
got things to
was-
hide? The governor of
That was uncalled for.
it, just totally. First of all, they should know better.
It's you've got the mayor standing there saying,
He's guilty of murder.
"Get out of my town," and I shortcutted. I left out the words. And you've got the governor saying, "We don't need your help." Then that just incites the protesters even more, because they think it's okay to go out there and block streets and block buildings.
Yeah.
And was it Friday night? They had surrounded this one hotel
Yeah.
that they thought the
And then-
ICE were in.
And then they started doing damage, and finally the police came out.
Yeah, well, yeah, finally, it was, Minnesota police, the city police,
Minneapolis. Yeah.
there was about 4 cars, and all they did was drive down the street. They didn't stop. They didn't do anything. Then
So they made 29
finally,
arrests.
state troopers, Minneapolis state troopers, and the conservation
The
officers,
wildlife cops.
which is another word for wildlife,
Mhm.
they came out and they stood in front of the building. But these protesters had already busted a couple doors,
Yep.
got into the lobby. They couldn't go any further, or they didn't attempt to go any further. And I'm like, holy moly.
Wonder what they would have done if the guy in the hotel pulled his 12-gauge shotgun from underneath the counter and popped a blast through the door. I bet they would have gone home then. Some of them wouldn't have gone home, but some of them would have had the opportunity. Okay, thank you, Sir Chris.
Thank
Y'all
you,
be
Chris.
careful on your trip.
Keep us posted.
Well, I will do that. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right,
You
you too.
too.
Okie dokie. Weather was great around here most of the weekend. Kind of changed beginning Sunday a little bit. The marine outlook all the way out to 20 nautical miles today. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots. Gusts to 25 later this morning, becoming northwesterly 5 to 10 in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, subsiding to 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. Tuesday, tomorrow, much better. Northwesterly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas about 2 feet, 3 seconds apart. A little bit choppy. Sounds and rivers flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon. Wednesday, kicking up again. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20. Gusts up to 25. Seas 3 to 5. Sounds and rivers choppy.
Today, sunny with a high near 52. North wind 5 to 7 miles per hour, becoming calm in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 28. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 58. Wednesday, a chance of late afternoon showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 60.
Theo? Okay, now let's see here. We're going to go to the lines here because we got Theo. You just going to talk this morning, or you want to have a discussion?
Okay.
Good morning, deplorables.
How are you?
Good. Chris is right. It was a choice, and his choice was to shoot an American citizen. He decided to do that, and now he's got to be accountable for it. If he's innocent, okay, but if he's not, he's got to be accountable. Do you agree?
He has got to, the case has to be investigated. You don't hold anybody accountable.
Yes, investigated.
Okay.
Yes, I just said that. I said if he's guilty, charge him. If he's not guilty, let him go.
Right.
Now, you guys want to be Monday morning quarterbacks. You don't have 2,000 ICE agents in Jacksonville, do you? Harassing everybody, going around. And if these guys are educated like you say they are, Rayford, why did he call her an effing bitch? An educated person starts cursing at people like that after they shot him?
Yes, they do it all the time.
Oh, yeah, okay. All right. So this guy, is it policy for him to have a cell phone on one hand and a gun on the other hand? When he should have been, if she was trying to run over him, and you know she wasn't. Okay,
I do know that she was. I know that she was. You would too if you would open your mind and look at the videos.
Okay, she wasn't trying to. She wasn't.
She hit him, Theo. She bumped him. She hit him with a car. He didn't run into her. She ran into him. It's all on video.
In the car, which guy?
The guy with the gun that ended up shooting her.
The guy that shot her.
The guy that shot her.
I didn't see him get hurt at all.
Oh, didn't see him get hurt, but you saw him get hit by a car, right?
It's on his cell phone video.
I didn't see him get hit by a car.
Oh, you didn't? Okay, I'm sorry. He had it on his cell phone.
Okay, so if he's got a cell phone, is that policy to have a cell phone on and then have a gun and start shooting in a car that's moving? What's the policy of a car moving? Are you supposed to shoot at it or not?
You shoot at the people. You do not shoot at the car. He shot at the person.
And did you know there was a dog in there?
Did he shoot the dog?
Suppose there was a baby in there.
Did he shoot the baby? He shot at the driver of the car and shot her.
No, he didn't shoot. No, because he was very close. Okay, but it's possible one of those shots could have been and then one of the shots, if he missed, could have gone to the other side where there was people on the other side, right?
There was a person on the other side.
He decided to shoot this lady, okay? Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, they're very educated, they're very professional. Did you know where they went after they finished with that scene over there? Where did those ICE agents go? Do you know where they went?
No idea. Don't really care.
Do you know?
No, you have to care. When you start talking, you got to care. They went to a school, a high school, and traumatized all these kids that were in there because they were looking for people, and they got people, and they were on the ground putting handcuffs. Do you know what you're doing to the kids when they go to school, how they're traumatized? They had to close that 2 days. They didn't go to school Thursday and Friday because they were traumatized.
So
I know you don't care.
You don't like
the
the
policy. It's not happening. You're a Monday morning quarterback because it's not happening in Jacksonville. You don't have 2,000 ICE officers going through your town, terrorize the whole town, and nobody can come out because they're scared. Okay? So they're educated and they're very well trained. You keep sleeping on that. Okay? So just want the facts that Chris, you're all right. He had a choice and he shot the lady, an American citizen, for no reason at all. Okay? He could have de-escalated. One of them could have de-escalated that scene. We didn't have to have a death. And really, these people are demonstrating, okay? They're peacefully demonstrating. They have signs. Now you don't even like the signs that they have over there. They don't mean nothing, and this and that. What do you want them to do? They just lost one of their residents. What do you want them to do? Take it?
You evidently have not been watching the protests. I have.
Okay. All right. So the guy made a choice. It's time to have the investigation. And I'm real sorry about we lost a lady only 37 years old with 3 kids. And the horns and the whistles that you're talking about is to let people know that ICE is in town. That was their message with whistles and the horns from the cars. That's why to keep the people inside so they will come out because ICE is around. that's the reason for the horns.
And
All right,
do you,
have a nice day.
do you, okay, goodbye, Theo.
Thanks for educating
Do you
us.
also know that when you're interfering with an investigation by alerting the bad people, you can actually be arrested for that?
Yes.
Do you know that?
Well,
If you know that the police are standing outside your neighbor's house getting ready to kick the door in, and you call your neighbor and you warn your neighbor about that so they can get away, you can go to jail. You will go to jail.
why are ICE there? Why were they there to begin with?
Because there's illegal activity going on.
Exactly right. And the arrests that they have made,
Yep.
being out there, have done to that. Look, I'm going to tell you, yesterday in Minnesota, the crowd has diminished greatly now. There was probably 100 people out there where there had been 1,000.
But weekend
Yesterday
TV
afternoon.
cameras weren't there.
Right. Well, the YouTubers were there. But anyway, they were lined up in front of the road. Is Theo coming back? They were lined up in front of the road where the ICE agents exit and entered in to go to the building. There were so many protesters, and all they did was they stand there and they held that one finger up in the air.
Mhm.
I'm like, what does that mean? What are you trying to say?
Your IQ. Theo, you're back. Hold on. Theo, you're back.
Yeah, just want to let you know, when Obama was in office, he deported 3-point-something million people. If we have to go through this, and you know why we didn't have to go through this? Because he had class. We didn't have to go through these. He did it the proper way. Okay? All right, thank you.
Bye.
Wow. CBS News. I want to get back to LA. Now, yesterday I was watching the LA protest, and the cops got pretty smart. They were all in this long line, and they were on the opposite side of the street, on the sidewalk, not in the street. The protesters, as they started crouching forward and into the streets, the police officers would start just a step at a time, pushing them back, not saying a word, not gassing them, not pointing guns, not yelling, F this, not flipping off anybody, but just marching out there. And they would stand out there till the crowd retreated. Well, there would be a couple fools that would try to test the waters that kept coming back out in the street and getting up in the faces. And it was so funny because what would happen is, just out of the clear blue, a group of those police officers would just converge on one, drag them to their side. And so one by one, they were picking off a lot of people who refused to protest peacefully and refused to follow the directions that were put forth. Unlawful assembly. They had already announced that it was unlawful assembly, and people would be arrested, but they kept giving them chance after chance. But every now and then it was just like a big claw coming out, snatching one. I'm like, what now? What now, fool? Are you going to argue that you were arrested illegally? You were only protesting? No, you were failing to follow the orders. It's just, don't watch the protests. It'll make you crazy.
Yeah.
It'll make you crazy.
During the 8 years Obama was in office, there were somewhere, an estimated, they don't hate
Thank you. I was looking at
facts that there, somewhere between 2.7 and 3 million people were deported. I don't know what the breakdown was. I don't know how it was, whether they were deported when they were first came across the border. I don't know. I don't have a clue. It doesn't break that down. I will continue looking for it. But yes, there were a number of deportations, and he had a higher number in his 8 years than Trump has had so far. I don't know the individuals that were deported. It doesn't mention that in the stories that I've been trying to read the last couple of minutes. So I will continue that, Theo. I will find him. And if he did that, cool. The situation and a lot of the cases that we're dealing with here, a lot of these folks are known criminals here in this country and in their home countries, and some of them have been deported time and again and again and again and again. The repeat offenders are some of the folks that you always look for. You try to get rid of them. The bad of the bad, you get them. When you go into a house where a guy's dealing drugs, that's the first thing you're looking for, right? That's what you know. That's what you're dealing with. That's what you're going after. But when you do that and you start finding things like stolen guns or, large sums of cash that they can't account for, when you find, I don't know, let's say you find a stolen piano in the house, do you ignore that? Do you think the drug cops ignore that kind of stuff? If they find a room full of brand new merchandise that obviously is part of a shoplifting ring, do you think they ignore that when they go in for drugs? No. You go in for the bad guy with the drugs that's been dealing drugs, but whatever else you find, you're going to take it down too. Same thing. You go to Minneapolis, you're looking for certain individuals, you've got names, you got targets. You're going after them, but as you're looking for them, when you run into other people that aren't supposed to be there, they may not be of the same bad person quality as the guy you're looking for, but you're going to take them down too, are you not?
Well, who went in and got these people under Obama's presidency?
The federal agents.
Right. Same thing.
So still trained federal agents.
That's right.
Now, unfortunately, or fortunately, they did not have to deal with the protests that we have today. Today, the protest seems to be a way to go.
It's the MAGA haters. I mean, just put it out there. It's the MAGA haters.
That is the whole thing that we've been talking about all along,
right.
Theo and anybody else. Would they have done the same thing? They did not do the same thing. They did not act the same way under Obama. They would not do it under Biden. True. The only difference is Trump. It's not because of what Trump's doing. It's because it's Donald Trump in office. Period.
Exactly.
And it's, How hard is that to see?
I mean, even during the Bill Clinton presidency, there was 863,958 deportations, an annual average of 107,000. So we've been deporting for years and years and years.
Obama had 500,000 in 1 year. I think his peak year was 2013 or something.
2012 was a historic peak was reached with an 1,123 deportations.
What do we got?
Wow, it's the
3 times. Hello?
Yeah.
You're up.
Yeah, look, he's not picking, you're asking me why I don't like Trump. He's not picking on a Republican. Anything he does is against the Democrat states. He's going to defund some programs for the Democrat states. He's sending ICE Democrat. If he was a fair person and he would send them all over, it would be a different story, wouldn't it?
Where do you think these people are hiding?
Nobody's hiding anything. He's picking on the Democrat states. How am I going to explain that to
again,
you?
let me ask you this. Do you think these people are hiding? The illegals are coming to North Carolina. Why are they all in Minnesota? You have a Somalian group of people up there. There's fraud all over the place. I think you probably would admit that. There's fraud all over the place.
There is,
and
do you know there's a lot of fraud in Alabama? Do you know there's a lot of fraud in Mississippi?
I don't know that. I don't know that.
They're not there?
I don't know that. They are all over Minnesota.
They're not there. Okay, they're finding now they got fraud in Minnesota. And now he found fraud in California. And now you notice that these are the states, the Democratic states. He's got problems in Alabama. He's got problems in Mississippi. Let me see him show me something. Are you asking me why I'm picking on him? Why is he picking on me?
Why is he picking on you? You're a Democrat.
Why is he picking on the Democrats?
Has he picked on you?
Why is he's picking when he's going to Democratic countries, cities, and doing Democrat stuff? Yeah, he is picking on me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's going to New York. Check the states that he's doing. Then you'll know the reason why. What other president did that?
Where did the Obama deportees come from? Do you know that?
Okay. All right. So just figure it out that Obama did it too. Over 3 million people. We didn't have to go through this. All this chaos that Lee's talking about. Why is that caused without military people in our streets? And you guys okaying it. You're okaying it. If you're separating the countries because you people okaying it. Okay? I'll talk to you soon.
I think 3 times in one morning is enough. 1 hour.
I think so too. I mean, goodness gracious.
Anybody else would like to talk? Now is your chance. 910-333-0139. the stuff, the rhetoric that is coming from, I'm going to call him a delusional mayor because I've heard him over the weekend doing some live stuff, and he was like Saturday morning, he was like, holy crap, he didn't just say that. He's convicting a guy who hasn't been charged with anything and only accused by people like him who have zero knowledge about what goes on in the world and what goes on in law enforcement. And then you got the governor of that state who's under heavy investigation, and the mayor of Minneapolis, where a big chunk of the fraud has occurred on his watch.
Right.
And the governor of Minnesota, Mr. Walz, where so much has been occurring. And he's linked to it. He's linked to it so bad that he doesn't want to run anymore for governor. What's happening with this?
I know it's going to be. Oh, Jennifer.
It's these guys are throwing out so much rhetoric there, and you know why? Because of all of the fraud. The fraud did not start when Trump went in there or Trump's troops went in there. It came up earlier.
Right.
Somebody else at the state level started uncovering, and it spread like wildfire when the deeper they dug, and then they required federal investigation because this is a federal level.
That's right.
It's much more
money
than
given to them by the federal government.
And it's our money from all over the United States. I want fraud investigated and eliminated. Hey, Jennifer.
Good morning.
Here we go.
I'm not going to scream and holler, and I'm only going to call once. But I do want to address. You mentioned the mayor up there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I just want to ask you something. This mayor is actually up there saying, and I heard it several times over the weekend, the same clip about, he wasn't hurt. I could have hurt his leg worse, shutting a refrigerator, blah, blah, blah. Saying that the officer that shot the lady wasn't hurt. I want to ask you one thing. Is that not the name of the game? Is that not the intention? If they are trying to come at you, I mean, I don't quite understand how he thinks that is the right thing to do. Should the officer only have shot her with his last dying breath? Should he have only shot her after she had run him down? I mean, that doesn't make any sense to me at all.
It's already been determined, Jennifer, and everybody else out there, by numerous courts across this country, all the way to the top, that an automobile in the hands of a person bent on using it as a deadly weapon is a deadly weapon, as is an ice pick, a tire tool, a pool cue, or whatever. Okay, now, let's just say another deadly weapon that we know about. Let's say the guy's got a 12-gauge shotgun and he's aiming it at me. Do I have to wait for him to pull the trigger and shoot me?
Exactly.
No, I do not. There were idiots that were posting all weekend long. Shouldn't they wait for them to shoot first? No. He who shoots first.
My whole purpose of of me calling in. I told Terry yesterday. I said, if you're sitting here in the living room and somebody comes up and kicks that glass door in right there beside of you and has something, whether it be a gun, a firearm, a knife, their fists, whatever, they have broken in here. I am in fear of my life and yours, and I take Gertrude and I blow them away. I don't really see that I'm at fault. What am I supposed to do? Wait until the intruder harms one of us? I mean, that just
in the minds and the mentality
And
of a lot of people,
especially
yes.
If you're a law enforcement officer, that is what they are trained to do. That is why they have the badge. That's why they are armed. And it goes, I am so sick and tired of hearing, I hate that anyone lost their life. I really do. It should never have, none of this should have ever escalated to this. But if everybody wants to say that she was a mother, well, if she was, why? That's not exactly what she should have been doing if she was all concerned about her children. You know, you don't drop your kids off and then go out there and protest and cuss and rip and rair and try and impede the law enforcement officers and all of this. That's quit using that argument. But anywho, I just wanted to address what that
A friend of mine back
mayor up there.
A friend of mine back in the late 70s, it could have been 80. He was a father. He was a husband. And he was ambushed. He was shot by a guy with, it turned out to be a fully automatic AR-15, which was a stolen M16 from some military base somewhere. Hasn't been caught yet. I think everybody thinks they know who did it. Pretty sure all the intel is, but not enough evidence. The gun was never found, no doubt, living in Carolina Beach as he was, Curie Beach, I think it was at the time he was living. It's somewhere in the ocean, way deep. So it's not going to ever be found, but he's dead now. So that's okay. But this young officer, he was in his 20s. She was 37. She had 3 kids. This officer was married. He was in his mid-20s, late 20s at the time. He was killed. He was shot to death, ambushed. Did anybody go out and get all upset about his death? Yeah, the other officers did.
Right.
There were no protests. There were no vigils. There was nothing.
Well, and I told Terry, I said, all of this, I saw that crazy Omar. I can't pronounce her first name. I'm a hillbilly. But the one that wears the thing on her head. I saw her on there. They went to the ICE detention center and they wouldn't let them in. And she was,
she doesn't have a right to be there.
We have a right. These are taxpayers' dollars and blah, blah, blah. We need to be able to show that the funds are being appropriated, blah, blah, blah.
You're a little bit late for that one, lady. Get Minnesota where you represent.
Really?
Why did she do that when Obama was president?
People with all of this scam with the daycares and all of that, that is your talking point.
Yeah.
That is what you're going to say. I mean, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. But anyways, I'll give somebody else a chance to call in. That's just my opinion from here in the hills. Y'all have a great day.
Thank you, Beth and Terry.
Bye-bye.
We're live in local Real Talk. Give us a call, 910-333-0139. You know, weigh in. I don't, your side is cool. Right? It's all right. The FBI is assigned to the task of investigating the shooting. Okay. Right. That's what the I in FBI stands for. Investigations. Initially, the Bureau agreed to work a joint investigation with both the Minneapolis and state authorities, sharing the evidence that they had with those other agencies. Then, because of the comments from both the mayor and the governor calling the ICE agent a murderer, the FBI decided, you know what, this is going to be a tainted investigation. If anybody else is involved in it, it would be better not to involve investigators where the mayor and the governor were the ultimate bosses in the 2 agencies that would be there. The Minneapolis PD, you know, anytime you see the police chief at any of these news conferences in Minneapolis, the mayor is right there up his butt. You know that, right?
Right.
He can't say anything or do anything without fear of being retaliated upon. Okay, got that. This state criminal investigation unit, guess who they respond to? They report. The governor is the ultimate. The governor. Now, both of these gentlemen are up there telling everybody in the world that this guy is guilty of being a murderer. He's a
Before it's
murderer.
even investigated.
He has not been accused of
That's
anything
right.
by any federal agencies or
Right.
anybody else investigating this thing. He is not listed as a suspect per se.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, he's still a victim because he's the one that got run down.
That's right.
He got hit by the
And
driver of
he
that car.
did get hit by the car.
Yes, he did. There's a fact.
In
there.
that video, it shows it on his
Who
camera.
was it on CNN? The guy that came back on CNN and says, I've looked at the new video and you know what? This guy acted justifiably
Yeah.
on CNN.
Well,
I'm like,
Theo
what?
was asking why he was allowed to use his personal cell phone. First of all, I don't know if it was personal. It could have been work related. Don't know.
I don't
know all the
what
facts.
Cell phone. I don't.
But what if he had not had that?
Well, and should they have body cameras? I would think so.
There are
They-
body cameras, but whether or not,
Did he have one?
I don't know the full
He
scope
did
of
catch a
it.
piece of video of the woman looking him directly in the eye as she hit the accelerator.
Right.
That was a still frame of that. In case y'all haven't seen it, she's looking dead at him
Yes.
with a smile.
Right.
What would you take that as? Now, it was a split second, but it's there. We know what was on her mind. She was going to run down that officer, that agent. Did she intend to kill him? Probably not. That would have been
Probably
difficult to
not. I don't
prove.
think so. Right.
However, under any conditions, had he not shot into the car or had he shot into the car and missed her, she would have been arrested. Assault with a deadly weapon with the intent to kill, inflicting bodily injury.
Well, what gets me is
Then it will be broken
the
down in
mayor
court.
and some of these local house representatives are up there saying, like, you can't shoot at a vehicle that's coming after you.
Yes, you can.
Hello, it's a deadly.
The Supreme
It's a-
Court's already ruled that's
it's a-
justifiable.
I know.
We
What
had
I'm saying
several
is,
of them. A guy friend of
they
mine,
just-
Mike in Wilmington, shot into one and killed a guy.
they don't even
Trying to
know
run him over.
what the law is.
Yeah, they don't.
A vehicle is considered as a deadly threat if used in that.
It's a deadly weapon.
Yes.
Potentially, it's any instrument that you, including your hands. If you go get yourself all that judo training and stuff like that, you
Taekwondo.
can be charged with assault with a
Yes.
deadly weapon.
Yes.
You
Yes.
understand?
I mean, go stand out in the middle of the street. Well, I won't say that. Say you just got out of your car in the parking lot of
Somebody runs into you.
Home Goods and you're walking through the parking lot to go to the front door and somebody just mows you down.
So let's say it's not.
Hello?
Let's say it's not intentional. Have you looked at what one of the murder statutes is? Second degree murder or involuntary
That's
homicide,
right.
involuntary
That's right.
manslaughter,
Involuntary, right?
but that's an element of murder.
Right.
Okay. Even if
Well-
it was not deliberate.
This has been highly debated. There is distinctively two sides to what happened,
Mhm.
and neither side is budging. I have my beliefs, like you have your beliefs, and then we have other people that have commented on the page their beliefs on the last post you did. I say we all sit back, let the investigation do its thing,
You know,
and let's see what comes out of it.
if I was in charge of that state crime
Right.
investigating unit or the Minneapolis Police Department, I would be so thankful that the FBI said, no,
heck
we're not
yes.
going to share anything with you.
Heck
Because here's
yeah.
what would occur.
Be leaked.
Here's what would occur.
Mhm.
When they got through with the whole thing, both the Minneapolis investigators and the state investigators would probably agree that it was a case of self-defense and it was a justifiable shooting. And then what would happen on the home front for them?
Right. Be out there
They should
protesting the
they should
mayor.
be very thankful that the FBI took that
That's right.
burden off of their shoulders. Their
I'd say do
futures,
it.
their futures were, because in the very end, they're going to be cops. When they look at everything,
right.
they're going to be cops. They're going to understand what can be done.
Well, there's
and what
people
cannot be
already
done.
saying, well, there's a ring of the FBI and they're going to do this and they're going to hide that and they're going to hide this and they're not letting the state
What's
be a
being
part of it.
hidden?
What?
It's
Yeah,
all
please
there.
tell me.
It's everybody. We've all seen it.
Right.
I saw the video throughout the day Friday, video that bystanders had
Right.
provided. Bystanders,
Right.
not
Bystanders.
cops. They provided. Who's this?
I don't know yet. Let me. Oh, it's Steve. Steve.
Steve. Okay. I didn't hear what you said.
I'm sorry.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Hope you are too.
No, it's Monday. And I'm doing quarterbacking, I guess, this morning.
I understand that.
This plays. You're going to take the ball. You're going to want to run hard to the right and run right straight down the field and go in the right direction. Though that's all I ask you, and score 6 points for me. Can you do that?
You lost me.
I'm supposed to be a Monday morning quarterback, according to Theo.
I got you. I was listening to what you were saying about the comments of the governor of Minnesota and how that could, have the appearance that it would taint a state bureau investigation. To be fair and balanced, Donald Trump and Kristi Noem also made snap judgments. They actually even miscategorized what happened that we can clearly see on the video. I'm not saying whether the cop was right or wrong. I'm saying that woman did not barrel down the street trying to run over ICE agents. That's what Kristi Noem came out and said 2 hours after the gun was shot. Before any investigation came out. The mayor of Minneapolis came out and made what he said, which I don't agree with what he did, but it was in response to her trying to call the woman a domestic terrorist 2 hours after the incident happened before anybody really knew what was going on.
Yeah,
or at least as a professional, they should have refrained from commenting at that time.
Yeah, they should have taken a lesson from Obama years ago when he blamed the cop. He called him a killer right up front.
And that was wrong.
That was wrong. They should take a lesson from that. And Kristi Noem, this phrase "domestic terrorist" has been thrown around to the point that it's just absolutely not right. It's misused more often than it's used correctly. All right, we've got domestic terrorists. We know that right in this country. We've got people that are homegrown. Protesters by nature are not terrorists. Okay, by anybody's definition that I know of, unless you get out there and you're a member of the Klan and you get out there, start marching and burning flags, or you're out there burning buildings. I will tell you that the people in Portland that set fire to all those places, the people in Los Angeles that did the same thing, and any other place where they just go through and wantonly start burning stuff, they can be classified as terrorists, and they should be. I got no problem with that. And if they're homegrown, they're domestic, and if they're from some other country, they're foreign invaders. But people protesting generally peacefully, whether we like what they're saying, their signs, or anything else, they are not terrorists.
All right.
Okay.
Well, and that's kind of my point in a nutshell is that Kristi Noem jumped out there and made all these poor comments. At a time when she should have just said that everything was under investigation.
Yep.
Donald Trump went and posted that the agent was run over. He actually said not hit, run over. So the President of the United States is putting out inaccurate information as well. So if the governor and the mayor saying things takes the state investigation, I think it's a valid point that the president and the department or head of the Department of Homeland Security making inaccurate statements would taint the FBI's investigation.
Yeah, the run over thing, I will tell you that it is not unusual in police reports and for witnesses and everybody else to say when somebody gets struck by a car, they run over. They will run over. They will run over. I hear that as a matter of routine.
I understand that.
That's a colloquial stupidity, but
may I say
inaccuracy.
Kristi
Noem. Let me finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Let me reiterate. He explained in his statement that the agent was ran over, not hit, actually ran over. That was what he put up there. Okay. So he specified that he did not mean that he was bumped or hit. He was actually run over. That's what the president said.
Okay.
I'm not trying to bring him down. But that's what he put up.
If that's what he put up there, that's inaccurate.
I will say that in the very beginning, you're right, Steve. They shouldn't have said anything at all. They should have waited till they had all the facts and get it straight. I will say, though, but since from their original remarks, they have corrected what took place in their remarks. But you're right. They should have never said anything until they had the facts. Whereas the mayor and the governor have not corrected their remarks.
Okay, Christy Nome did an interview with Jake Tapper yesterday, and she doubled down on what she said. She said everything that she said in that press conference was accurate. And he came back at her and said, no, it's not. And she just would not budge on it. So, I mean,
Maybe
she did
she
not
knows
come back
more than we
and
do.
change.
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I don't know. Don't know.
You know, I not my favorite, but anyway.
Yeah, no, me either.
I would go back. Y'all may have or may not seen this yet, but Tom Tillis commented on this, and he commented that she should never said what she said. You know, and he's even gone on the floor and said that these advisors, amateur hour needs to be over with.
That's totally true, you know, all the way around.
You know, and I mean, I ain't saying that they ain't none on the left, but they're not the ones at the wheel right now. You know, and on another note, backing up what Theo was talking about, Obama deporting a little over 3 million people. That works out to around, I think, over his administration, about 400,000 people a year. The Trump administration, DHS, said that in this past year that they deported a little over 400,000 people, roughly the same number as what Obama was deporting. Now, my point is that now we are pumping billions of dollars into ICE. It's costing us a lot of money. It's causing some extreme civil unrest, and it's no more effective. Isn't it a valid argument that the other way was better? We had the same effectiveness. It didn't cost us as much money, and it didn't cause all this civil unrest.
Do we know who I'll talk about that for just a second too, or a minute, but do we know the people that they were deporting under Obama? I have not looked that up yet. Is that every little mom and pop that comes across the border that they deport them immediately? We don't know who they were deporting, right? We know that some of these people, and do we know that he went after the people that have been in this country for 10 years, 8 years, whatever number of years? I don't know. I have no clue. We do know that the ICE today, they're going to get more than what they target, obviously. You go for a big drug dealer, you're going to get the guy that's smoking dope in the house at the same time when you go in. But you're going to get everybody in the sweep. You can't let people stay there. But I know that the original targets are going to be the bad people who are here. Yes, we've gotten a whole lot of gang members from these groups, these arrestees from other countries. Nicaragua, yeah, we got them all the time. They're a matter of routine. Matter of fact, they got one of them when they arrested Maduro. Did you know that? The other day, that was one of the guys they also brought down. Wasn't just the president and his wife, but
Right.
they get a wide range of number of people when they go after them. But the targets here are supposed to be the really bad of the bad. That's what they're going after. They will get more, but that's the target. I don't know that about Obama. I do not know what his targets were.
That's what they are telling everybody. That's what they're saying, is that they are targeting the worst of the worst. But through their own statistics, 97% of the people they deported had not had any criminal record, and they didn't have warrants for them.
Yeah.
In Minneapolis, they're pulling people out of cars at gas stations. They're not going, they don't have a list that they're going down of people that they're trying to find. They're just grabbing brown people anywhere they can and making them prove that they're an American citizen or not. They sent 2,000 ICE agents to Minneapolis. That's a battalion. Minneapolis has less than 600 sworn officers on their police force. So you have to imagine this was quite intimidating for the people in Minneapolis to see something like that. If they sent 2,000 ICE agents to Jacksonville, they'd be ICE agents on every corner.
But if I'm not doing
and
anything
now they've upped
wrong,
it to 3,000. And I'm just saying that as an adult, you go into these things you got to protect the citizens from the citizens. You don't go in there and try and create chaos.
well, see, I'm completely different.
Understand. I get what you're saying. What if it would have been Theo? What if they came to Jacksonville and Theo was mouthing off one of these agents and they wound up shooting him in the face? Would you still?
But that's
feel
not
the same
what
way?
happened.
I'm just saying, if he was in his car and turning, trying to drive away, and one of the agents stepped in front of his car and used that as a precursor to use self-defense.
But see, you've already drawn conclusions and made
I
up
haven't
your
drawn.
mind.
I haven't drawn a conclusion about. I'm saying the man, when she would not comply with the agent's command to get out of the car, he walked in front of that car,
Right.
and that's not what they're supposed to do.
Now, how do you know that? Have you ever been a cop?
No, I looked it up on the DOJ's website of what their procedures are, and you're not supposed to walk in front of a car. You're not supposed to walk behind the car.
I'm going to look
You're
that
supposed
up.
to be at a 45. You can go look it up. It's their guidelines. So, I mean, he's not supposed to do that. Now, I'm not trying to throw him under the bus, say he's a bad cop or whatever, but I believe that whole situation could have been handled differently by everyone involved, including the woman in the car. She should have got out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but there's also a human factor of fight or flight response. And that woman seemed to be in a flight situation. She was not even waiting for her partner to get in the car. Yeah, that's the one thing I think that a lot of people overlook is that it's hard for the average person to ignore that response, the flight or fight response. And a lot of law enforcement, just like those officers, they kind of turned it up to 10. It went from a verbal back and forth, not even really that harsh, to a get the F out of your car, very aggressive. That can trigger a response like that in a human being. You have to take that. They never do. So, I mean, I ain't saying, but you also got to, you know, have reasonable expectations of how a person is going to respond to certain things.
You certainly don't expect them to turn the wheel of the car in your direction as the tires indicated that she did. Towards him.
That's debatable.
No, it's not. Look at the video. Look at the videos.
I did,
Yeah.
Rayford. And when she's looking at that freeze frame, you said, when she's looking in dead in the eyes,
Yeah.
if you watch the video and not a freeze frame, she is turning that wheel. He's seeing her turn that wheel hard to the right.
Mm.
And here's the thing. You know that they say tell them not to shoot into a car that's coming at you like that.
No. They do not do that. Who told you said that?
Okay, I
They
have the
tell you not
policy
to do
right
that.
here.
Let me finish. They
Yeah,
tell you
go
not to
ahead.
do that because, and it's in their guidelines. They tell you not to do that because it's not effective. Just like it wasn't effective there. He shot her in the face. She did not change the direction of travel, and it did not reduce the speed of the vehicle. Had she been trying to run him over, he would have gotten run over. Him shooting her didn't change anything.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like I say, a lot of different people feel a lot of different ways about it. I think that,
Right.
you know, we need to enforce the laws. We need to deport people, but there's a right way to go about it, and then there's every other way. And the way that Obama done it might not have necessarily been the right way, but it was just as effective, cost less money, and did not cause this civil unrest. And so it's worth looking into whether we should go back to doing it that way.
Do you think if Obama or Biden had ordered troops to do the same thing that are being done here because of the outrageous activity in Minnesota, do you think, because federal agents who are investigating the fraud there have also met with a bunch of grief, you know that, right? From the governor on down. But do you think that if Biden was in charge and he ordered a couple thousand ICE agents to go into there, do you think the same thing would have been happening from the people?
That's a weird way to look at it. I mean,
I'm just asking.
If you're asking me, I would still be opposed to it.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, do you think
say how they would react to it?
Do you not think that the people there would just say, okay, they should be in here doing something. They're doing their job. Do you not think that they would agree that he was doing his job?
I don't think they would, Rayford. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that if he was doing it in the same way, which I don't think any Democrat would, and I worry that they will. I ain't saying they won't never do it this way, and that's the thing that irritates me the most about it is that everything the right does, everything the right lets the right get away with, the left is going to use that eventually.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when National Guard, like I said it before, what happens if the next president is Democrat and decides to revoke all federal firearms license and stops the sale of guns in the United States and goes through these towns wanting to confiscate the guns from the gun stores? You know, or with conservatives and Republicans, are they going to stand by for that?
Nope.
Are they going to accept that?
Nope.
No, they're not. And that's the whole point, Rayford, is that we can't cram our way of life down their throats. They're Americans. They're not going to accept it. And they can't cram their way of life down ours. We're not going to accept that either. It has to be a compromise or America's done.
Well, first thing, any efforts to remove the firearms would be in violation of our Constitution. So that's going to be a problem. You can't just go through and bound.
If you have to get a license to sell guns, that's a privilege and they can take it away. They ain't necessarily can take your guns, but they can stop anybody in America from selling them in a day.
Yeah, they can. They can try.
I get it. They can try. That's what I
guns
that's
are,
in a nutshell. Is that if they did that, they would be just as much resistance.
More guns are sold that are outside an FFL licensed dealer, a federal licensed dealer.
That's the truth.
More guns are sold on the streets than are sold there, and
Facts.
there's guns that are stolen.
You're completely missing my point.
Yeah,
it
I
would
understand.
cause outrage.
It would
cause outrage on the right. They'd act the same way.
We'd be unhappy.
They'd act the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Possibly even worse if you look at what happened on January 6th. You know, and I'm not trying to, throw that back up there again, but that's,
yes,
when we're talking about civil unrest, when we're talking about civil unrest, that is, that is germane to the point.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big civil unrest, but my point is that we have to compromise. We can't expect them to stand by while we impose our will on them, and we wouldn't stand by if they did it to us. I mean, it's not, you got to put all the politics aside and just start saying, okay, where can we meet in the middle? Where can we meet in the middle?
Not going to happen.
Yeah. It's not going to happen with Trump.
It's not going to happen with anybody.
Man, even as much as y'all hated Biden, he was able to work with Republicans and get legislation.
I never said I hated Biden.
Okay, I may have overspoken.
Yeah.
I don't know sure how you felt about him, but you didn't have
He was incompetent. He was incompetent. He was incompetent as a senator.
Have a very positive.
No, why would I? He was an incompetent buffoon. He was. But even before he was as a senator. He was just a doofus.
I don't dispute that.
Okay.
I was not a Biden fan before he ran for president. I was not a Biden fan when he was vice president. I felt like he was a little too mouthy. But I mean, where are we at now?
Well,
we're way past what what Biden did that I didn't agree with.
Yeah.
Obama
needed an old white guy to be his running mate.
Right.
Otherwise, he would have never made it. You know that.
And I mean, I can't say he would have never made it, but I can understand your point.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. But anyway, like I say, the American dream lives on as long as we all agree to compromise. As soon as we decide that we're not going to compromise anymore, it's done. We're just, riding a dead horse.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I don't like Trump, is he's toxic to our politics. He's toxic to our world politics. He has come out and said that we're going to take Greenland whether they like it or not. That's what he just said this weekend.
See, it's all come right back to Trump in case nobody has figured this out yet. Both arguments this morning from Theo and Steve have come right back to Trump. Regardless of what it is, you just don't like Trump.
Look, you cannot. That is not a fair statement, Rayford.
No, well, you're bringing
Trump
up.
Trump is the villain in his own story. He goes out of his way to tick people off. He trolls everybody. He wants people to hate him.
Mm-hmm.
And so to say that people don't like him, that's not fair, man. He does it on purpose. There's plenty of reasons to not like Trump. What's the derangement part is the people who love him in spite of all those examples of bad character. That's the deranged people. Anyway, I have a blessed day.
Thank you, Steve.
You too. After news, I'll read you what the DOJ guidelines are.
All right, weather. Looking okay.
I'm sorry, I meant weather. Weather news.
Whether it's news or whether it's weather, we're going to do the weather, whether you like it or
Let's
not,
do it.
right? The
That's
marine
right.
outlook all the way out to 20 nautical miles today. Northerly winds 15 to 20 knots, gusts to 25 this morning, becoming northwesterly 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 3 to 5 feet, subsiding to 2 to 3 in the afternoon. Sounds and rivers choppy, diminishing to a light chop in the afternoon. Tomorrow, much better. Northwesterly winds around 5 knots, becoming southwesterly in the afternoon. Seas only about 2 feet tomorrow, 3 seconds
2
apart.
footers.
A little bit choppy. Sounds and rivers flat, increasing to a light chop in the afternoon. And on Wednesday, it's going to start to kick up again. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20, gusts to 25, seas 3 to 5, sounds and rivers choppy.
Today, sunny with a high near 52. Calm wind in the afternoon. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 28. Tuesday, sunny with a high near 58. Wednesday, a chance of late afternoon showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 60.
Okay, looking around the
60.
county and beyond just a little bit this morning from our ham radio friends out there, Amateur Radio Club of Onslow County. Randy out in Southwest in his golf cart this morning, 26 degrees, 89% humidity. He said it was clear and calm. Had 0.01 inch of rain over the weekend. Joe in the borough, Swansboro, 31 degrees, 67% humidity. He had light westerly winds and 0.09 inches of rain in the rain gauge. And from the back swamps of Onslow County, Lee, 27 degrees, 74% humidity. And he had light winds about 2 miles an hour, he said, and no rain. And Dale and Carroll up the river around the bend, 27 degrees, 71% humidity. Said it was calm, no wind, and no rain. 36 degrees at Cedar Point. Ward was out there this morning. 36 degrees, 56% humidity, light wind, and no rain. 0.07 inches of rain over the weekend. A little bit later on, Ward called in. He said it was really chilly out there because he was out and just set all his duck decoys out. He was waiting for the ducks to come in when the sun came up. So he's out there. He's going to be chilly this morning. Lee, you.
Oh, me.
Over Woodlands, 28 degrees,
Woodlands.
70% humidity. Southwesterly winds 1 to 2, 0.09 inches in the rain gauge here at the studios. It was 25 degrees. It's now up to 27 degrees, 75% humidity. Winds out of the south at about 2 miles per hour.
Shh.
About 2 miles
Look
per
at there.
hour. Okay, doggy, stop. About 2 miles an hour and 0.012 inches of rain. Okay, hold on. Put them outside. Okay, we had some interference there in the studio. And I'm going to cage a couple of critters after I muzzle them. Where's my duct tape? That's the way I muzzle people. We got a friend who's joining us this morning. How you doing? I'm not getting any better at that, am I? Right over here.
Oh, a voice of reason.
No, it's on film now.
Speaking about that evil bunch of FBI people up there in Minnesota, and they're going to do an investigation about all this mess that's going on. And how would you like to be on that team?
Well, there's a precedent case with that. Ruby Ridge. I don't know if you remember.
Yes, I remember Ruby Ridge.
They were going to indict the FBI SWAT guy, but I think Reno just moved him to the federal jurisdiction. So that's probably what will happen here.
Yeah. Got John Legato, retired FBI agent. Looking
Yes.
good. You got your hair cut.
What a nice surprise.
I was getting blood work around the corner, so I decided.
Oh.
Were you getting blood from somebody else, or you weren't slicing and dicing this morning, were you?
I'm done being Dracula. No, just a routine. My primary care physician.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well,
You
good.
came in at a good time.
Can you put a voice of reason to all this mess in Wisconsin, Minnesota?
Yeah, the deadly force policy, right? What people forget.
Thank you.
It's not only imminent danger of death; it's also serious bodily harm. So I don't see how, even if you take away that she wasn't trying to kill him, she was trying to do serious bodily harm, and
She
so
ran into him.
yeah. So that meets the requirement for deadly force.
Shooting a car because it's fleeing from you is a different story than shooting a car that's coming towards you.
Well,
You don't shoot the car, you shoot the person.
there have been cases. This isn't one of them, so I'm not comparing them, where somebody's in a gunfight and the cops are chasing them, and they're shooting, and the guy jumps on a fence to get over.
You could shoot him.
You could shoot him because he's a danger to others, imminent danger.
That's one of the elements in the use of deadly force by law enforcement. If the person poses a threat to you or somebody with you or somebody else, or by letting him go and not keeping him there, he's such a menace. North Carolina used to have something called an outlaw statute. They still had it up until about 1980, 82, or something like that. The outlaw statute was one that a guy was such a mean person and posed a danger to the citizens of North Carolina that a petition or a request to declare him an outlaw was sent to the governor. And the governor would say, yes, John Legato is now declared an outlaw. Any citizen can, upon sight, shoot that man to death.
It's a little bit harsh.
That is what the law, they had a law, a statute on the books. Now, I don't think it was used, but how it was used is the 2 or 3 that during my time that were declared outlaws, as soon as they were declared outlaws, they found a cop and surrendered.
Yeah.
Because they knew that all the citizens of North Carolina were out gunning for them.
What year was this?
This was in the 70s that I know of. Prior to that's when it came into being.
I don't know what to say about that, other than there'd be a lot of dead people in South Philadelphia.
Yeah, but the thing is, as soon as these guys found out, hey, the governor declared me an outlaw, somebody's going to kill me. Mr. Police Officer, I did it. I give up. Put my handcuffs on me. Take me to jail. Protect me.
Oh, God.
Anyway, no, but seriously, the use of deadly force, if you are such a mean, heinous person and I can't catch you, you've just shot at me, you've shot at other people, you're wanted, you're known to be violent. And by you being on the loose and me not taking action to stop you, that's on me.
Yeah, the other thing is the use of words when describing, like Miss Good or Mrs. Good. Initially it was an innocent, sweet-looking volunteer, and then when more information came out, like for example, what the liberal media does is every time they show the grandmother who's been deported, and then you read church volunteer, loving, volunteers at a nursing home, etc. Then you get down to the bottom, and this one woman, she was a Filipino grandmother, and I'm thinking, how could they do this? Until I realized she was in jail 21 years for distribution, and they always put it at the end.
Of course.
Yeah.
Just because she was a drug dealer, we should have let her stay here.
Yeah, well, that's the whole issue of a country being like a home. Mm-hmm. You invite people in, and if they get rowdy, you invite them out. But you even more than that, you scrutinize them, you vet them before they come in your house.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't do that. And
I vetted my daughter's boyfriends.
Shh. Candy, you
She's
didn't
on
hear
this
that.
video. She knows.
She knows. Of course she knows.
I've nenever done that myself, but I heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
You probably called me to do it if you'd known me at that time.
Yeah, it's the whole issue is logic. They have logic, but then people hold up when they get caught into a logical argument and you present facts. What a lot of liberals do is they say, look at this shiny object here, and they take you over there and it has nothing to do with what the facts are. And let me give you an example of that. When I would interview people, I would ask a simple question is, did you steal the car? And they would say, why would I steal the car? I said, did you steal the car? He said, I already have a car. Well, they never answer the question.
That's right.
And
Deflect.
But in your brain, you thought they answered it when they said, I have a car, and you move on to the next question. But being not too bright, I'm like single-minded. Did you steal the car? So,
You haven't answered my question.
yeah.
That car you were in, that was stolen, you realize that, right? Are you the one that got it, or did your brother get it?
My brother would never get it. My brother
So that means you did it.
did what?
Stole the car that you just said you stole.
What car?
Because your brother said he didn't steal it.
My brother was in Peoria. What are you talking about?
The car was amazingly stolen from Peoria.
I taught interviews and interrogations at the FBI Academy. You cannot get me.
Oh God. Anyway, it is a mess. These whole. I'm looking at it as a bit of deflection, smokescreen, if you will, because the governor is so adamant, the mayor is so adamant. And then I look for a motive and why. Well, you got a whole bunch of feds up there already looking into all the fraud that's been going on. This trail ain't coming right back to the governor.
Well, the governor was talking about, and this kind of got me too. They want a joint investigation, and the federal government, first of all, the governor and the Minnesota police, if you remember when they were burning police station, they actually surrendered a police station up there. I think it was up there. How could you trust them? They already have an agenda. And why would we bring them into our investigation?
Exactly what I said.
Yeah. Like when I was an FBI agent, I worked tons of cases with police officers. But if I was working with a police department and they proved to be very prejudicial against, one thing or another, I would not work with them,
If the state crime people, like the SBI and in Minnesota, I forgot what they call it, criminal investigators or something, they work ultimately for the governor.
Right. And who do we have as governor? There you go. That's what I was trying to say. You just said it for me.
And the city police department of Minneapolis,
Yeah.
you have not seen the police chief on camera unless the mayor was up there, holding his pants up. The mayor is right there. Who does the chief of police work for? The mayor.
Yeah.
In every town.
Well, what did I read this morning is that they're thinking about calling one city or state the National Guard, and to prevent.
Minnesota threatened to mobilize their troops, the National Guard, to do battle with ICE.
Minnesota.
That's what
right, the governor.
The governor threatened that last week, and I'm like, you are just asking to put somebody to put handcuffs on you.
He's got him on standby right now. And, do you think these National Guard guys are going to come
That's
out
an
and go?
unlawful order, whatever he does.
Yeah, but do you think those National Guards are going to go up there and think they're going to battle with ICE? They're not going to do that.
Well, the other thing is the control of the National Guard. I think that the president can, just
Take it away.
Yeah, take it away. I mean, what's his name? The governor, I forgot his name.
Walls.
No, Minnesota. Who is it?
Walls. Tim Walls.
Oh, you mean Tim? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said something else.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say that, but
No, him.
him. Yeah. He is so one way. I mean, we have, then you have Gavin in California, and what's going to happen, like in Gavin, which already happened with Walls, is when they run for national office. Mm-hmm. Everything they say, like, I think Gavin wanted to have truck drivers, no license, abortion issues, immigration. He wanted to give medical, for trans to pay.
All that's going to bite him on the butt.
Well, who are they going to get as a vice president? We surrender California to the votes. You're going to, the Democrats are going to win California.
Yep. So
who is, and we're getting off on a tangent here, who's going to be the presidential candidate, Democrat, in 2028?
Newsom wants to be.
But that's what I'm just saying. He's got such a history.
But who? But
AOC?
ALC's talking about it. So
I
is
think it's
Kamala.
great. I think
Good for
Kamala.
her. That's an easy
listen.
run.
my point is they don't even understand that the issues that they lost in the last election, they're going to run on the same issues.
Good for them.
Yeah, no, I say it's great.
It is good for them. Yeah. I'll support their efforts to run. I was glad that Kamala Harris ran when Joe Biden had to bail out. I mean, if the Democrats had had the opportunity to go through as they should have had, a lot of Democrats were mad that if the Democrats had had the opportunity, and Biden had done what Biden should have done in the beginning and said, no, I'm not going to run. This is a one term. I'm not feeling like I should be running again. And then bow out. And that would have given the Democrats the opportunity to pick a candidate. I bet you they would not have picked Kamala Harris
No.
by default.
That's the other thing. I really wonder
She got
if it will ever come out on who was running the government when Biden, especially the last 2 years.
Barry?
Who was actually like in the Oval Office making
Oh.
decisions?
That was a ghost, I think.
Well, we know it wasn't Biden.
Well, that's my point is,
Mhm.
you know, and
It was the president auto pen.
I always thought just watching Joe Biden during the election that she was the voice.
Jill.
She had tremendous power.
Jill did, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise, he would not have been president. He would not have run.
Yeah.
If she had been smart, she would not have let that man run in the first place.
Well, no, she wanted the power.
I know she did.
Yeah. She wanted the power. She would have.
But-
Guess who's coming in this week?
You mean that undercover man?
Donnie Brasco's coming.
What is
Oh.
it? Secret agent man?
Yeah, Donnie Brasco.
Yeah.
He's coming in. We're going up
You're
to,
going to use his real name?
well, I don't even know. He does have a legal different name than, yeah. But we're going up to Cherokee Casino to North Carolina Chiefs of Police Conference.
Yeah.
We're honored.
I'm thrilled to death about that. I wish it was closer because I'd sneak
Yeah.
in.
And Joe was he was telling me yesterday, I'm going to give a speech and then I'm introducing Joe. And we did this thing all over the world. But what was funny, we were reminiscing about the last 5 years of our employment with the FBI. We had been undercover, so they put us on this diplomatic something tour. It was amazing.
Y'all went together to Russia, didn't you?
We went to Russia 5 times. I mean, we were being chased by KGB, not chased, but monitored. But we did. This was when Russia just fell, when the Republic broke up, and they said to me and Joe, "Whatever you do, don't cause an internet because it just."
They put two guys that have been working undercover for that many years, 8 years and 7 years or something. What in the world did they expect was going to occur? They're lucky.
So what happens? It's a great story. We're in a bar in Moscow, and we're with our interpreter, and they hear us speaking English. And there was these 4 Russians at the bar, guys, big guys, who hated. Back then, the older people hated the Americans,
Mhm.
and they heard us talking. And Joe was sitting in the aisle, you know, where the path you could walk on. I'm against the wall. And these guys come screaming, pointing, you know, in Russian, and they're saying something in Russian. And I turned to the interpreter and I said, "What are they saying?" They said, "Your mother's a whore," and this and that. So I'm conscious that we can't do anything. But then the one guy, Joe's sitting down, he's standing over him, and he's going like this, like he's about to hit him. Joe's going to tell this story at the conference.
Oh, Lord.
Can we get a video?
No.
So as the guy, like, you know, goes like that, I punched him in the face, and
Who,
then
you punched Joe or
no, the guy that was
saw.
about the Russian. So the other 3 Russians coming over, Joe gets up, punches another guy, and we ran out. We ran.
We already hit and run.
All of it. We crossed the street, and they came. They were looking because, you know, that would have been it. That would have been a major.
Oh, yeah.
So he's telling this story at this conference next
Oh,
week.
Lord.
Yeah.
This could be a pay-per-view thing if we could get it up on TV.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, he's amazing. They did a survey a few years ago about the 10 most recognizable names in the FBI. Hoover came in first, and Joe Stone, Donnie Brasco. Yeah, give me a name other than Hoover.
I don't know anybody other than the current idiots.
No, I'm not talking about the company. You're talking about legends in the bureau. Yeah, I wouldn't. Comey's not a legend.
It was bad. Well, bad apple. So
He's got another one out. Rafer just came out. I can't watch it now. I'll watch it later. This one is a frauditor in search of Saudi terrorists at military bases.
Okay, first of all, I have to remove hardware that I generally have in places when I'm watching your podcast.
Reading it's got my blood pressure up.
When I watch the stuff that you put up there on YouTube, I have to leave anything that goes bang in another room because I really like my TV. It costs me a lot of money, and I don't want to shoot it.
Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these people it's only a handful that I would like to shoot, but the rest of them I would really love to punch.
Well, I don't know if your audience knows, but I put out a YouTube show on basically First Amendment frauditors who treat the police miserable.
Yeah, they do it just to make them mad, see what they're going to do. And occasionally they're going to run into somebody, and they do.
Mm-hmm.
Pummels them.
I already have it listed here on our feeds today.
It's kind of sad. I have a lot of people overseas that watch my podcast, and they comment, like in Australia and they said, we can't believe that America allows your police officers to be called cursed at,
Mm-hmm.
It's because we got too many politicians at the top.
Yeah. My father was a Philadelphia cop in the 50s and 60s. And
Pump.
Well, and then I was assigned a few years to the NYPD, which was always amazing to go out interviews with the NYPD. They had a report, they had a blank report in their pockets. And the cause, one box was, he fell.
Yeah, okay.
7 times. On the elevator going up, it's up and down. They stumble on the way to the jail, right?
They were great detectives. NYPD were fantastic.
They got the information, didn't they?
No, I'm just talking about, the street guys. Yeah. A lot of times, the cops are, especially the FBI, my alma mater is great. I love it. But we have very, a certain person. They're tall, they're Aryan looking, and they're highly educated. But a lot of them have never even been in a fight. They're not street.
Yeah.
But those NYPD detectives,
they all fought.
Yeah.
And they win.
Yeah, well, usually, yeah.
Yeah, you pick on me and my other 5,000 brothers out here. Watch out.
There is a brotherhood.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there is a brotherhood.
And you don't even have to be a cop from the same jurisdiction to be part of that brotherhood.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Marine Corps. Mm-hmm. I mean, one Marine, we got into a fight years and years ago in a bar. And
oh, really? A Marine?
Well, I was with my dear friend Russ Knepp, who was an Army drill sergeant in Vietnam. But long story short, we didn't cause it. No,
I've heard that story. It was his
no, Russ did. I avoid. I really do. I really avoid it until I can, but I don't want to. I'm arthritic hands. I can't even make a fist anymore. But anyway, I forgot what I was. So this group, there were 4 or 5 of them, and it came to a fight in a parking lot with Russ and this other guy, and one of their guys was a Marine. And when he found out, we were Marines, he switched sides. He came to the bar. He fought his own guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Marine is a Marine.
Yeah. Yeah.
He kind of, it's got tunnel vision at that point in time, right?
Well, some people call it a cult.
Well, a cult. I've heard things like that too.
And, it's hard to describe. Yeah.
You got a book coming out.
Sooner
or later.
I do.
Oh, good.
Have you started it?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
What chapter am I in?
It's called Desk Assassins. And what it is the amazing research so far. I found cases where people died as a result of people sitting behind a desk in Washington or whatever, who make decisions. And I'm not talking about making a decision in good faith. Like,
Right.
I'm talking about they make decisions that get people killed or hurt for ego, for politics, for advancement, for revenge. And we're finding cases like you wouldn't believe. And one of them, and I'm not going to get too much into weeds. I probably shouldn't discuss some of these cases, but they're coming out. They're going to be exposés for the first time, exposing. And we have the Valor Board people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But some of these other people, the woman whose father jumped on a grenade in Vietnam. And then there's that amphibious that where the 8 Marines were killed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that story has never been told. It's going to be told in the book.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Then I found like stuff that you wouldn't believe, like in Pearl Harbor, you know, that they knew Pearl Harbor was going to be attacked a year in advance.
Mhm.
And, you know, they did nothing for the wrong reasons. It could have been prevented.
We didn't want to be involved in a war. And Washington did not want to be involved in a war.
Yeah, the people didn't work.
The people didn't want to be involved in a
Yeah.
war. But we weren't as... Europe was a lot further away then than it is today.
Yeah, yeah.
That's going to be interesting. When's it going to be available, do you know?
I'm behind a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah. I probably, you know, 6 to 8 months.
You've been volunteered to be a speaker at a club meeting one day soon.
At a club.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Yeah. To talk about your book.
The book that's not out.
That hasn't come out yet, but it's a date to be determined.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you more about it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's coming here.
I like volunteering you for stuff.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Another book. Yay.
Well,
You better get
But
busy.
don't do it for me, do it for my wife.
I have no idea what you're talking
I
about.
know you don't.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Which is not unusual.
I know that.
I'm married for 55 years.
Well, anyway. That sounds like a good armchair quarterbacks,
Desk assassins.
desk assassins.
Desk assassins.
That I'm telling you that there are people, and you know what? People are listening to this. I'd say 80% of you are victims to desk assassins. And I'm not talking about that they murdered you or somebody. Well, they couldn't murder you if you're listening, but somebody you know. I'm talking about decisions they make on Social Security, on you know.
Oh, yeah.
They're making decisions. And here's what Ronald Reagan said. It's so true. A president does not control the government. Mid-level bureaucrats control the government. He said, I could make an executive order, but by the time it gets down 10 layers, mid-level bureaucrats can do what they want with it. And a good example is Pete Hegseth gets squared away physically. We saw that. Are you kidding me? By the time that gets down to the line level at platoons or companies or an office, even people in the office are supposed to they're not going to get in shape. They're going to be doing the same thing they did now. And unless, 5 years from now, you see a big belly, you're not even going to know. But that's who runs the government, is mid-level bureaucrats. And they cause havoc.
Mm-hmm. People behind the scenes.
Yeah, they're they don't have the corner office, but they make decisions. Like, I'll give you an example. This guy, James Nearly, he says, I don't make decisions, I make recommendations. So he's the subject matter expert at the Department of Navy Valor. He makes the decision, and then he brings it to his chain of command, and they sign it. Don't you understand? These people above him are not reading everything. This Nearly was the subject matter expert when he did the quid pro quo, when he accused the Medal of Honor recipient of falsifying documents. He just brought the paperwork up to his next in line. I said, okay, Jim. But they hide behind the mantle of us. I just make recommendations.
It's easy enough to do.
Yeah,
I just tell this is what I think should happen, and these other people make the decision. Well, it's a rubber stamp, but they make the decision. They have the final say so. Yeah.
well, what's interesting
I know
about
it happens,
what's interesting about the Valor thing, and here's a classic example of what I'm talking about. Franklin Parker was the assistant SecNav for Manpower. He nearly worked for him. Nearly was in the Marine Corps. So he brings up whatever doing with Valor. Parker signs it. You know why Parker signs it? He's never been in the military.
So he doesn't speak the language.
He has no idea of Valor. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He has no idea of what constitutes, valor, heroic acts. He's an attorney, a Harvard attorney. And guess who the person under him, assistant, that whatever. She was like a Princeton, he was like a Harvard lawyer. So you mean to tell me that they're making decisions on that? No, they're not. They're listening to the subject matter expert who based his decision on a hunch. And that's going to be in the book. And,
Ouch. Well, there are people up there in Washington that could change it at this day and time if they wanted to.
You can't get to them. Have you ever tried talking to a bureaucrat?
No, I don't want to.
If you wanted to
I'd be
talk,
frustrated.
if you wanted to talk to anybody in the Department of Defense, you can't. If you wanted to talk to an FBI agent, you can't. You can't.
I got several retired ones I can.
They have insulated themselves, and it's come back to bite them in that school shooting of Vita or whatever that a woman called the
Uvalde. Yeah.
Yeah,
Texas, I think it was.
they have a clearinghouse of clerks in this big room, and that's where all your complaints go now. You can't talk to an agent. So a woman called and she said, so-and-so is going to shoot so-and-so at this school soon. And so the clerk wrote it down, and she's supposed to give it to an agent. And the FBI admitted this. If you Google it, they knew about it. And it never they never did anything about it because there was a snafu in this big room because you can't talk to an agent. That's going to be in my book. I just thought of that.
I got a little similar thing down in Columbus, Georgia right now. For the last year, I've been working on something.
What have you been working on?
In Columbus?
Yeah, tell us.
Trying to talk about the police chief there, but the police chief won't talk. About the self-inflicted wound.
Oh, I
And
know
who,
what you're
and who,
talking
and
about.
who gave how the kid who was not mentally capable of having a gun bought a gun for him and gave it to him. And that's what he used.
So what are you doing about it? Tell us what you're doing about
I
it.
can't do anything about it. I requested all the records, and the records are very simple. The kid didn't even go to no autopsy, no gunshot residue, nothing taken, no ballistics, no search for the bullet, nothing. A coroner sent him straight from the scene, not to the morgue, to the funeral home, who cremated him the next day. The investigators, the line sergeant, and the patrol officer. Where's the gun? I got the serial number on the gun. Where's the gun? Who bought the gun? How did he get it? Want to go to Columbus with me? We could have a field day in about a half hour.
You're too old, man. What are we going to do?
Yeah. I'll bring my cane. But so, things like that it's just a little bit frustrating.
Well, do I think we're going to win this bout? I don't. But, it took me 13 years to get the Gunny the Medal of Honor. They rejected it 10 times.
Yeah, I know.
So, but I'm going to keep plugging away until
You're just a hard-headed individual.
I'm Italian.
Tenacious. I'll put it. Yeah, you're like a bulldog when he bites in, won't turn loose, right?
Well, but I don't feel good about the outcome. But I found out that SES employees, you can't get rid of them. There's something in the law. You can't get rid of them because the Secretary of the Navy, former Del Toro, wrote, you saw what he wrote, a paragraph saying that if you're listening out there, I have documents on this, but the Secretary of Navy wrote a paragraph saying that the president of his Valor Board, James Nearly, unduly influenced the Valor Board of 5 Marines and 1 Navy corpsman. He screwed up the integrity of the Valor Award system, on and on and on. This is in writing. You know what happened to this guy? Nothing. You can't get rid of.
Still gets paid, doesn't he? Still making the same stupid decisions, isn't he?
Well, here's where it's the desk assassins. We found other cases. So in other words, if as an FBI agent, if the FBI wrote that I unduly influenced the case and ruined the integrity of the justice system, every case I investigated would have to be looked at.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I put your client in jail, you're an attorney, you're going to be screaming, how do we know he didn't unduly influence? They won't review a case. They refuse to. Doris Miller, you don't know the name, but he was the mess man on the USS West Virginia, who shot down Japanese planes.
It was Pearl Harbor. And it came out, and I don't think he'd ever had any. He got a machine. I think he got a 50 caliber, didn't he?
Yeah, it was an anti-aircraft 50 caliber.
Yeah, okay, that's what he hooked up on. I've read that story a lot.
Well, and it was on. They made a movie Midway.
Yes,
they actually have him on there, but Cuba Gooding Jr. played him in the movie.
Yes.
So how does Nearly, who's been in the job 18 years, have anything to do with Doris Miller? Doris Miller was put up for the Medal of Honor, and they're continuing to this day. There's Congress people that are trying to, they won't give it to them. So what happened is I found an article about 15 years ago that this James Nearly, the president of the Valor Board, when President, I forget who it was, Obama, Clinton, or Trump, asked for a review of all minority individual military people who got the second highest award to see if they got,
Screwed.
Well, I found a survey from 1935, an official government survey. Not survey, it was a finding of the War College saying that African Americans are inferior, it went on and on, should not be able to fire a weapon. I mean, you read this stuff. So there was systemic racism.
Yes, there was.
There was systemic racism. So Nearly rejects it, this upgrade. And this woman writes an article in a magazine. I found it. It's amazing. She chews Nearly's butt out that he wouldn't even review it again. And so what Nearly does is when he can't reject it based on facts, like if you rebut, you have facts and say you're wrong, he goes, there's 2 ways they can reject it. One is material errors, but the other that he uses is no new information.
Oh, God.
So what Nearly says in the Vietnam vets, in the guy that jumped on the grenade, John Ripley, a Marine, Major Capers, and Doris Miller, no new information. Well, it was 80 years ago or whatever it was. Of course there's no, but that ends all discussion. In other words,
why don't you look at the old information and see if you can't come up with a different outcome?
Well, he won't look at it.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do?
Well, that's what he was ordered to do.
Isn't that what let's go from one courtroom to another courtroom to another court levels all the way up? They don't necessarily get new information. They take the same information and make sure that information was treated correctly. How that happens in the Court of Appeals on a regular basis, does it not?
This is a classic example of desk assassins. Nearly made a unilateral decision that he wasn't going to review it. And that's it.
It's ridiculous.
But there are probably hundreds. If there are people listening too that question their valor awards, and he's been there 18 years. If they would open up some of the records and review the redacted copies, I believe, I true in my heart, and as a retired FBI agent, they would find civil rights violations. That this Nearly is what makes anybody think that he only did it one time. Think about that. And they caught him doing it, and they documented it, and yet they won't look at any other cases. Well, I'm just going to give one example of how bad this is. It's proof. We have a document that nearly wrote, the only appeal you have if you think you got screwed on a Valor Board is the Navy Board of Correction. And they are supposed to be semi-independent. So 8 months. So we appealed, to the Navy Board of Correction. We got rejected. 8 months before they met, we have an official document from James Nearly to the president of the Navy Board of Correction saying, hey, Nick, I strongly recommend you deny petitioner's
Hey, Nick. So the district attorney or the judge in a county courtroom who sentences a guy to such and such and such and such, this case is appealed by the guy's lawyer to the North Carolina Court of Appeals. And then the judge from the case here calls the North Carolina Court of Appeals and says, I suggest you just turn this one down.
Strongly recommend.
Isn't that about the same thing?
Well, what Nearly did, and he put it in writing, they can't get out. They won't answer this one because it's such proof. He basically, as a judge, he wrote a letter 8 months before telling a judge saying, before the jury deliberated, before they go in for deliberations, I want you to find the defendant guilty. That's what he did. And they can't answer this. They will not respond.
Heads need a roll.
I fear they won't.
I know. I'm sure they won't.
I fear they won't. Because nobody cares.
Well, you said 80 years ago. Here's the problem, folks, with everything that's been going on 80 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, Vietnam, all of that. All of these people are going away, I read the obituaries yesterday. One was 64, one was 66, one was 68. The only three in yesterday's obituaries that I read, they were in their low to mid 60s. 64.
Oh, they can outweigh us.
I mean, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they know how to play the long game.
Yes, they do. The law, the averages are on their side.
Well, the other thing is there's no due process or transparency.
Yeah.
In other words, you cannot get anything from them. The few things we got were, I got about 200 pages of FOIA. Maybe 2 or 3 pages were readable. But just what they left in by accident was that official letter, was the quid pro quo memo, was proof that the president of the Navy Valor Board accused a Medal of Honor recipient, a major general in the Marine Corps, and others of falsifying eyewitness statements. And nobody cares. Nobody cares.
Nobody.
If you're listening, if you can get me a phone call with anybody in the Department of Defense, call Ray for forgiveness. I just need a phone call. I need to talk to somebody and present them with about 15 pages of evidence that the Navy Valor Board is corrupt. I stand behind the word corrupt. They are corrupt. They've been corrupt. And if they ever, here's the other thing. I requested 5 investigations, Department of Defense IG, Marine Corps IG, Navy IG, and several times. They refused every investigation because they know that it would open up a Pandora's box of medals that people deserve. If you're listening and you think you deserved a medal and you didn't get it, then you need to help me. Get me to talk to anybody in the Department of Defense. I've talked enough.
Now, if you folks don't, this is a gentleman that kind of knows what the word corrupt means.
They're corrupt.
John Legato knows what corrupt is.
Yeah, they're corrupt.
You know why? You know why he knows what corrupt is? There was a time that you ran a business
Undercover.
Yeah. And you found a bunch of corrupt police officers.
Yeah, that
You arrested police officers for corruption.
Yeah.
You know what corrupt means, do you not?
Yeah, that's a long story.
I'm sorry, but this is a man who knows what corrupt is.
Yeah, we're talking drugs with the police. Now, we're not talking.
I understand that, but it was corrupt. Corrupt is defined as being corrupt one way or the other.
I refused to work a public corruption case. I was working an organized crime case. And what happened is this one semi-law enforcement person over a period of 2 years kept saying, I can get you all the dirty cops you want. And I would say, I don't want any dirty cops. And what happened is I wrote it down one time. I didn't write it. He must have said it 10 times. When I put it on paper once, then the FBI went crazy. They said, you got to follow through. But I never wanted to work. My father was a cop, and I never wanted to work a corruption case. But yeah, there was like 50 cops arrested. Yeah, it was the largest.
But you know what corruption is?
Listen, corruption's, we all know what corruption is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
James, somebody should listen when you say that.
Yeah.
When you say this guy's corrupt, somebody ought to listen.
Yeah. I hope he sues me. I hope he sues me.
Oh, God, you get into a court with that?
They'd have to discovery. The discovery would kill them.
Yeah.
Sue me. I shouldn't say that too loud.
That's what Johnny Carson said about the National Enquirer one night on TV during his monologue.
Yeah.
He went off on them because they went after his wife with some stuff.
Yeah.
And on his monologue, live before it was taped back in the day, he went off on him and he said, now, I've told you what you are. Now sue me. I would love to have you in a courtroom.
Oh, yeah. They could never.
Oh, they would lose.
They would open up a Pandora's box of hundreds of veterans that deserve Valor Awards and didn't get them. They could not sue me.
Bring it on.
Bring it on.
There you go. That's the Italian in him talking. That's the Philadelphia in him talking.
You talking to me?
You talking to you.
Now I want lasagna for dinner.
We're going to John's house. I bet you make mean lasagna.
Well, my wife's preparing for Donnie Brasco. She's been cooking for years. But he's telling these stories that I wouldn't even tell at this conference. I mean,
He's coming here to your house?
Yeah.
God, we need to go meet him, Rafe.
He's not available for you.
You don't know that. He might be thrilled to meet me. Huh, John?
I'm sure he would be thrilled to meet you. I'm not too sure about it.
I've already talked to it. We had a great conversation on the air one morning.
That was then. This is now.
But you have ulterior
Just
motives.
stop. You don't know that. I've just heard a lot about him.
Oh, yeah. You know, he's great. He's 87 now.
Oh, bless
Yeah.
his heart.
I just went down and saw
That
him.
is his heart.
Well, his wife just passed.
Oh,
Yeah, about 6 months ago.
bless him.
Yeah. Anyway, we were in Estonia, Budapest, Dubai, I mean, Scotland, England. One funny story, and I got to go.
Are there any things out there we could find in the newspapers about unsolved issues or problems that occurred while you were there that we could look up?
Yeah, I got newspapers from Russia. I can't read them, but that has our photos on them.
Does it?
Yeah, I think we were doing some public relations stuff with what happened. I don't know if people know it, but when the Republic fell, they got rid of the KGB and they did FSB. It was just all the KGB agents. They changed the initials. We had minders. We would sneak out, you know, and but anyway, I forgot.
These were tales that he's talking about. These people would tail them everywhere they went.
Yeah.
And you had to debug your rooms.
Oh, I would leave messages in my suitcase. I said that, you know, the anthrax is in Donnie's Brasco's room. I would go to his room and they had microphone because we would do the same thing as the FBI. If you had 2 KGB agents in New York, we would have them under 24-hour surveillance. We'd have aviation units on it. So we knew it, you know. But one last story, I got to go. MI5. We did a bunch of cases with MI5, and they had this terrorist, this Muslim terrorist, selling weapons or something. And Joe was going to meet him and negotiate. So they had 2 hotel rooms. So Joe's in the room, and they're briefing him, and they said, "Joe, whatever you do, don't do your New York, you know, crazy thing. No." Because these Muslims, they don't like, you know, to be insulted. They don't like to be, you know, questioned. You're going to ruin the case. Just sit there. So he's in the room now next to us, and I'm in the room with the MI5, and I'm watching the monitor. And so Joe's talking, and this Muslim guy kept interrupting him, and Joe's talking, and the MI5 saying he's doing good. He's not snapping out, he's doing. All of a sudden, Joe gets up.
Oh, Lord.
He takes 2 steps. The guy was sitting down. He put his finger right by his nose. He says, "Why is it that your sentences begin in the middle of my effing sentences?" and the MI5 go, "Oh shit, we lost." No, the guy respected him. The guy respected him. I got to run.
Well, appreciate you coming in, sir.
Yeah, thank you. It's a
We'll get you
wonderful
back, and,
surprise.
we're about to wrap up here anyway, so I'll tell you about the club meeting that we'll be attending one day.
What's that?
The club meeting that you will be going to
We'd
one
like to
day.
invite you to speak at a club meeting.
Was it a secret handshake club?
Yeah.
It's women.
Woman, okay.
That's all you had to say.
I was going to save the best part for last.
There you go.
You'll be the only male there.
This is like a Tupperware thing in the
No. You ever heard of the Chippendales?
Yeah.
Oh.
The Clydesdales is what they're the Chippendales have all turned into the Clydesdales.
Oh, my Lord of mercy.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Okay, folks, thank you. And we will see you tomorrow morning. I have no idea who. Oh, we got the.
We got City Councilman Mike Yanero coming in tomorrow
We
morning.
have Congressman Greg Murphy. At
Yes, he's supposed to be
7:30.
calling in.
And
Yes.
then we got Mike Yanero, City Council member.
That's
Mike
right.
Mike Yanera.
Mike Yanero. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock.
He'll be at the conference.
Oh, will he?
One quick thing. He ran a great, I don't know if you know this, he ran a great campaign.
Yes, he did.
Well, who was on his campaign?
Well, because all of his campaign signs, like you, all of his campaign signs said, "This can't be all that hard."
You're live and local, real talk, and we're
gosh.
awake, not
Don't tell
awoke,
him
and we'll be seeing you tomorrow morning. Y'all be safe out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Have a good day.
In fact, don't do anything that I would do. Okay,
Mhm.
We'll see you in the morning. Bye.